What's up, y'all? I'm back with a video. We're going to talk about black male privilege and white male privilege because it is a real thing. But on this week, mostly going to focus on this guy, Playboi Carti. I haven't heard of Playboi Carti in a minute. All right, I don't really listen to his music like that. He's not talented to me at all. I know a couple songs that he has. Um, Playboi Carti just released a project, and with Kendrick Lamar, who else? The hypocrite, the woman beater, just like he is allegedly. Notice how this dude, and shout out to this guy in the comment section because he put me on to this. I knew that he was releasing a project 2 weeks before, but I haven't listened to it. You know, I knew that Kendrick was going to be on there. And notice how this dude is a woman beater. This guy in the comments said this as well. He's a woman beater. He's a deadbeat, just like Kendrick. But notice he can get away with this stuff. And this guy still sold 300K the first week. Imagine if this guy was light skinned or mulatto. He would not be able to do that. Tell me why throughout the media you and this guy, I believe he brought up XX Tentacion, I believe that's who he was referring to in that video. It was the video of they were calling, it's like I titled "Don't Recruit Light Skinned Dudes, They're Soft" or something like that with Shannon Sharp. Just clips that I put together. And showing discrimination to light skinned brothers in sports and things like that. But not only XX Tentacion, but also Chris Brown. Chris Brown beat up Rihanna when he was underage, but notice how they still blackball him from a lot of these performances and just anything, period. They hold that over his head to this day. And I'm not trying to give him sympathy or anything, but I just want you to notice the blatant hypocrisy of these people. All right? If Playboi Carti was light skinned, he would be he would be harassed nonstop about his behavior. They'd be calling him emotional. They would be black women would be talking about him. All type of things. Like, how did you beat up a woman? It's probably a white woman that he would be beating up. And Iggy Azalea came out and she talks about how he doesn't do anything for his child, which is pretty much, I mean, I'm pretty sure she knew that before she even got with the dude, that he wasn't about nothing, so she don't really deserve sympathy. But imagine if this dude was light skinned, how much he would be under fire. How do you go out and you sell 300K the first week? How do you do this stuff? But a light skinned dude, he would not be able to. He would get scrutinized so much for this. I was on Facebook and I seen this black chick again trying to spread this narrative that light skinned dudes are evil or something like that. Like, she was basically saying that, I'm gonna make a video on it, that it was like a light skinned guy and he stabbed a black girl to death, his girlfriend, and she was like, it's always light skinned men, especially when they were darker women or something like that. And she was light skinned saying this. And they have this obsession with trying to paint light skinned dudes as some type of serial killers and child predators, and knowing damn well that's not what light skinned dudes do, especially on average. That's not who we are. They have a obsession with trying to give us a bad rep and put targets on our backs like that. And you light skinned dudes have to call this stuff out. You have to make y'all channels and be brave and call these things out. Get on TikTok and call these things out. But she was trying to paint light skinned dudes as serial killers and child predators. And like, it's just crazy. But this is what their group of men do on average. This is a part of who they are. That's their DNA. That's who they are. And not only that, I also want to talk about the white men. When Chris Brown beat up his Rihanna, I believe it was another white guy who beat up his girl or somebody around the time he did. But notice how they got completely swept underneath the rug. Nobody talked about how that guy beat up his wife, and it was a big celebrity who did it. It was a white guy, and they don't not bring that up at all. But when it comes to Chris Brown, they always got to remind you that this light-skinned, handsome guy who's talented is, a bad person. He's evil, and I'm not trying to make excuse for him, but notice the blatant hypocrisy. Also, I forgot who it was. It was a guy, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it could have been Dana White. I think he's over the UFC, and allegedly Dana White, he slapped his wife in the club 2 years ago. And notice how they brought it up, but they swept it right underneath the rug. Nobody holds it over his head about being a woman beater at all. But when it's a light skinned guy like Ray Rice, or a mulatto guy, or a guy who's lighter complected, like a Ray Rice, even though he's not the lightest, but he's on the lighter side. Notice how it's an issue. Like they try to hang it over your head and they try to destroy your career. That makes you don't have no power. All right, but if it's a dark skinned guy, they'll let it slide. They'll give him a little bit of a hard time maybe if he's like a big superstar, but they don't really care for real. But if it's a light skinned dude, they're gonna try to completely sabotage what you got going on. And that's why a lot of light skinned dudes, unfortunately, we have to be extremely clean cut because we know that we're gonna, if we don't have room to mess up in life, in society. All right, because they're gonna get persecuted regardless whether you're doing good or bad. So you can't really win for trying. But just notice the blatant hypocrisy. Just saying with Kendrick Lamar, it's a white girl who came out and said that he beat her. All right, notice how they can get away with these things, but light-skinned guys can't, and white men can get away with these things. All groups of men can get away with beating women, especially their own women, and it's never an issue. But if they expect, even if they think a light-skinned dude is doing something, they're going to over-exaggerate it because they know why. Because we're a threat. All right, they fear us, and you have to understand that you must take pride in that as a light-skinned dude. That these groups of people fear you. They see something in you that you don't see in yourself. So that's just blatant hypocrisy. I'll see you on the next one.